Welcome to the Creative Play and Podcast Network. Join us as we share our favorite RPGs, one-shot games, tabletop games, reviews, and convention panels. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Hi, this is Kelly, aka Trixie from Ragnarok and Roll, assigned to Ragnarok Story, and Tilda Wimblewick from D&D Journey of the 5th Edition. First off, I would just like to say thank you to everyone for listening to our varied adventures, as well as for rating us on iTunes and RPGpodcast.com. If you haven't rated us yet, we would greatly appreciate it if you could. And if you're looking for more ways to support our efforts, we are now on Patreon, a great site where you can help us continue making more podcasts, as well as some special surprises for our patrons. If you can, please look us up at www.patreon.com/cppn. Every little bit helps. And again, thank you for listening.
Hey guys, Jim here.
And Kelly.
And welcome back to #RPGaDAY2026 for August the 24th. Do we have what it takes to go the distance?
I sure as heck hope so.
We got 7 more days. I had to do the math. So distance.
7 days.
Distance is always important in RPGs because that's the one rule when you're playing cops versus robbers make it up games. You need to know, is the enemy near, engaged, short distance, medium distance, or long distance away. So it is important to keep track, especially if you're not using maps and tables or Roll20 online, to ask about distance if it's ever a question. As I always like to say, is it close enough of a distance that I could get to them in a single turn?
That's true, with or without dashing kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Because nobody wants to waste their attack to dash and just get up there so you can get punched in the face.
Yeah, the punching in the face would be bad.
So many of my metagamers like to wait till the bad guy takes the action and then runs up into its face to punch it because it used its attack.
Well,
that's just good tactics. But that was earlier this month.
Well, with the distance, and if you're, because distance is important, you need to know how far and stuff. You know me, I'm a huge fan of accessories. They do make distance measuring tools that you can keep in your gaming kit and stuff to help you gauge. And they have really cool ones that also do the different shapes, cones and area effects for measuring those on, mostly the 1x1 typical scale and stuff. But they do have, I think you can get them for others.
Oh yeah,
but they have them like acrylics or like plastic, like a thin plastic, so that they, fold nice and neat and all sorts of stuff. So some of them are even where, like, if it's a fireball, it looks like a fireball, and you can put it under the player, under the miniatures if you like. I just love, I love accessories. I can't help it. So I love making dice bags. I love, using different ones for different things and different tools for different characters. It's a hoot. I very much enjoy. So, if you do want something to better gauge distance, they do make tools for that. Of course, you don't need them. I mean, it's, count the things. But if you like to just like spice it up a bit, there you go.
Yeah, like my personal favorite is the, since we're mentioning those guys, I'm going to totally mention the Arcknight. Let's see where it is. The clear overlay measuring tools Arcklight does the spell AoE kit where it's like 24 pieces for different acrylics, and it's got all the different spell types. You've got lightning, you've got the cones of all different sizes, the radiuses, and it's clear acrylic, so it sits really good either under or over your mini.
Ah.
Yeah, I'm a
Yes,
big
yeah, I
fan
like
of
those.
theirs
The
and they
clear,
pack
clear
away so
acrylic.
nice. Yeah,
Mhm.
Arcknight, that's ARCKNIGHT. I'll totally put the links in the googly goo. And that one comes also with some basic tokens like magic uh, magic weapon and a few random animals ones that they threw in there. But it's got all the spell templates that you need for, and they're set from 1 inch to 5. 1 inch is 5 foot standard D&D scale.
Yeah. So distance, you can totally gauge your distance.
And I'm a huge fan of, like you said, the measuring tape. I remember when I got into tabletop wargaming, so many people had the seamstress tape measures. You know, those really tiny keychain ones that
Yeah, I
people would
have one.
totally knock one out in a pinch to use. Like, hey, look, that's 30 feet right there, because their brain's already in the 1 inch is 5 feet. So,
Yeah,
and that's
ironically enough, I do have one in my game bag.
they come in super handy, just not for measuring stuff. You know, for non-gaming stuff. But
Well, I
if you
also use that same bag for
crafting,
crafting, so
and,
there you go.
and as a player, never be afraid to ask the GM a question about that, because in the GM's head, he could have the room dimensions down pat, but he never says it, or she never says it. Always make sure to ask if there's any question before you do something, so that way you don't end up being in a bad spot. You know, it never hurts to ask. I mean, that's why way back in the way back day, grid maps, when they first started coming out as something you could actually get your hands on, 3.5 and 3.0 D&D, people were like, grid maps, they're the cool new things, so you don't have to have graph paper. And I'm like, yeah, the grid maps are lifesavers when it comes to doodling out a quick room and showing your friends so they can see the distance between things. You know, so you don't have all of your players wedged into a 2.5 foot wide corridor. And then they realize, oh crap, I didn't know that it was that far of a distance, you know?
Yeah.
So never be afraid of using props and never be afraid of asking questions. Especially in game systems like Daggerheart and Star Wars and Genesis, where distance is a more abstract thing than D&D, where every inch is 5 feet, where your GM is just going by, it's a short distance, about as how far you can travel in 10 to 6 seconds. If it's long distance, you have to do 2 moves, and you know, to get even a third of the way, 2/3 of the way there. So never be afraid to ask, because you know, some of the more liquidy systems, especially if you're doing like Power by the Apocalypse, where distance really isn't a mechanic, just ask, can I reach them in this scene? And because in settings like Dresden for Fate and Power by the Apocalypse, the scene you've set up, everything is technically within range if you rolled successfully. If you didn't, obviously it wasn't close enough, because the dice are answering that question, which is another thing I love about Power by the Apocalypse. The dice answer our question. So it's not that the player sucks. The dice say there's something in the environment that made the situation not pay out.
Good point.
Yep. So never be afraid to ask questions. That's always a very important thing as a player. And, you know, how quickly can I retreat from this distance? And
Run away! Run away!
And if you're a ranged class, make sure you're putting distance in there to make sure you are, if it's D&D, you are 35 feet away from the people that don't have reach weapons, 40 feet from those who do. So that way you're always an attack and a bit away from being attacked yourself.
And check the distance of your spells.
Oh, yes. Don't shoot the fireball in a 10-foot by 10-foot room, because you'll even get yourself.
Yep.
But that's totally going to be my prompt for tomorrow on the 25th. So I think, have we gone the distance? Should we wrap it up there?
I can go the distance. I don't care how far. Somehow I'll be strong. I know every mile will be worth my while. Yes, we're done. I'm sorry.
All right, guys. Hope you had a great weekend. I hope you got some Monday gaming in, because I know we're totally getting some Tuesday gaming in tomorrow. So be back tomorrow.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Creative Play-In Podcast Network. If you enjoyed our show, please check out D&D Journey of the 5th Edition and Ragnarok Enroll a Scion Hero to Ragnarok Story. Also, check out our Patreon page for more content and behind-the-scenes things, as well as joining us for a one-shot game or two.